Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today I would like to share a little unpackaging with you guys. So this video is going to contain a little bit lengthier content. I'm going to show you what is inside here. Of course, it's something from Skiff Workshop. No, I didn't get a fancy knife. I'm broke for that. But I did get a bunch of ceramic bearings and also a handful of thick washers that I want to put into a handful of harder use models that I think would actually benefit from washer action. Now, I'm not really here to discuss the quality of consistency and action and smoothness when it comes to bearings versus washers. Of course, common sense washers equals tighter, a little bit more hydraulic feeling, and bearings are going to be a little bit more free-flowing, lending to drop shut action and cool fidgety things like that, right? But all right, let's just gonna go ahead and open this guy up. I'm gonna be using my full type Praxis here. Hopefully I didn't cut through anything important. All right, let's get that out of the way. And that was it. Okay, so the rest of it is trash. So I'm not gonna be putting, setting up all the knives that I plan to put this stuff in. I am only going to be putting one set of thick washers into one budget knife just for the sake of content purposes. So what I got here, a couple little stickers. I love stickers, childish or not, I think they're cool. And I have a refrigerator here in my garage that is starting to amass a handful of colorful stickers. So there is that. One thing that you're definitely going to need for a project like this is, of course, a nice driver. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, of course. And so T8, T6, very common sizes to disassemble knives. And let's go ahead and let me share with you guys what I got. Some other things you're most likely going to need. Some sort of pivot lubricant. I got some KPL. They're 3-pack here of different variations. Heavy to medium to ultra light. I mean, I've had washer knives before and haven't really noticed much of a difference between the two. I'm just gonna go ahead and put just the one in the middle. I don't see that they make too much of a difference, but the viscosity is really what is the difference there. So this is a weightier package because I did get a butt ton of thick washers, like I said, and the thick washers are extremely inexpensive. They are about $6 for the pair, which is realistically not that bad. It's manufactured here in the US, and I mean, it got to me in less than a week, which I'm completely cool with that. So some of these have designated knives to go to. I just can't remember off the top of my head what goes to what, but I do know that I believe all but one of the thick washers actually has a designated home. So let me just see real quick. There was a 6mm pivot that thick washers were going to, I believe. Is it this? Oh no, I think this might be for the the 3/16 pivot was going to be specifically for this guy right here. This is something I got in recently and have absolutely been loving it. You guys will most likely see a review soon on this. Spoiler alert, I freaking love it. This is very different than a lot of things in my current collection, and it took me a little bit longer than usual to, I suppose, appreciate the certain little nuances of this knife as in its design and, you know, just what it was designed to be for. This is hardly a knife. This is more borderline of a hard use cutting tool, really, and it feels extremely well built, of course made by Riot. But I got some bearings and some thick washers. I do have a different set of skiffs in here that fit temporarily, but I wanted to get the ones that were specifically for it. I think I had put like some 5mm because it's nearly the same size, but whatever. So that's that. And then all these other guys, they should be 5mm 3/16 or compatible, I believe. 0.0625, 0.0625, 0.0625, 0.0625, and these should be the same as well. Yep. Okay, cool. So let's throw that crap off to the side. Let's open up this guy. So I'm planning to put Skiff bearings into this. So this is the Wii Praxis. This guy right here is the crap, my camera is not focusing. Hopefully it's focusing. The Monocolo knives, the ones that's like super customized by yours truly. I have Skiffs in here currently, but I want to put thick washers in here just to see if it helps with a little bit more side-to-side stability. Asher Spiro Warncliffe in S90V and silver carbon fiber, that's going to receive thick washers. So this is the one we're going to be working on. This is the Sen Cut Knives Glide Strike. I'm putting thick washers in there. This beast of a beauty right here, this currently has appropriately sized skiffs. This is the Scout 3.5, the big chunky boy. I'm going to be putting thick washers in here because I think free-flowing ceramic bearings is a little bit too dangerous on that one, honestly. There's so much mass behind the blade. This guy right here, this is a Wii Subjugator, a relatively modified one that has a removed flipper tab and an enlarged finger choil. This is a slimmer carry hard use knife that I do genuinely love a lot. But there are currently appropriately sized skiffs in here, and I would want to see what thick washers will do to the action. Last but not least is this heavily modified Kubi titanium titty. This one, of course, recently modified by yours truly with removed flipper tab. I reshaped everything down there. I didn't enlarge the finger choil because I felt like it was good enough for what it is. And I'm going to put, I bought a set of ceramic bearings and thick washers for this as well. And I just want to see, going back and forth between the two, seeing what's good. And then last but not least is this guy, so I'll just set that there. So yeah, this is all the stuff that I'm going to be working on, not in this video, but of course I'll be sharing with you guys later on what my findings are. If anybody's curious, go ahead and leave a message in the comment section, or if you have me on Instagram, you're more than welcome to message me. And just, sorry, bump the camera, I have a baseball cap on, just throw it off to the side. You're more than welcome to message me and just see how the progress has been going. Now, when it comes to an upgraded pivot system, really, these things kind of take a little bit of time to break in. So I'm going to give these guys some time, a lot of fidgety time for sure. This, we're going to just start the disassembly. Now, what I'm going to do with this one in particular is I'm actually going to strengthen the tension on the lock bar because I'm putting thick washers in here. That's going to create a much tighter, more compact pivot overall. And my thought process on that is that if I strengthen the lock bar tension and the detent, I'll have a little bit more resistance to then push off via the hole or reverse flicking. Okay, so I already got it set here, and brand spanking new, but just for sake of prep work, this is what I do when I've cleaned up previous washer knives. I've owned two Chris Reeve Sebenzas in both of the blade shapes, and this was my typical maintenance process with them. And with every time that I did this, it just made them better and better and better. So this is a little technique or method, I guess, that you can call, that helps overall over time. No, this is not going to remove a significant amount of material at all. You could actually see that the difference in oxidization on these guys, and that could possibly get in the way of the best possible action. That's just my thought process on it, really. You don't have to do this. You could probably just slap these in there and just go on about your day and let the knife break in as usual. But with washer, something that I've noticed is that, let's say you carry the knife for a week, mess around with it for a week or so, take it apart, clean it, give these guys a little rub, reassemble it, you know, and mess around with it for another week. Once you get all that gunk out as it's breaking in and going through its process, it'll get smoother and smoother and smoother, and the knife will break in a little bit faster. So that is my thought process and method and technique when it comes to washer knives. Another couple models of knives that I've been able to be fortunate enough to check out are some MBK knives. I've had a full tie mini old guard, the Warncliffe one. That one was pretty cool. But MBK, at least their overseas production stuff, they don't exactly have the best tolerances and when it comes to consistency, but they're really good looking knives. But that of course is just due to the styling of Sanford Owen and Ray Laconico, the owners of MBK or Monterey Bay Knives. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give these guys a little wipe. They are nice and fresh, nice and shiny. I'm not gonna do anything fancy with the pivot, just give everything a little wipe. This isn't a knife that really sees a whole lot of use that much anymore because it really just sits in my size comparison size little box up over there, and so it doesn't see a whole lot of use that much nowadays. But I want to start carrying this thing again, and I think having a different action will kind of make this feel like a new knife and breathe a little bit of new life into it. That's just really my, I guess, thought on it. So these guys should pop in pretty easily. Now this is a modified knife. I've done my acid stonewash to it, and as you can see, the areas that I have protected with nail polish, right there, the detent hole, the track has been worn in after the fact. Also the flat surface of where the bearings ride on are now the washers, and of course the lock bar spot as well. Also around the detent ball and the face of the lock itself. One thing I'm going to do here, I'm just going to tune it up a little bit, and all I'm doing is just flexing over the bar just a little bit, nothing crazy. It looks a little bit more exaggerative than it actually is, but this is really just to tighten things up a little bit, nothing crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and slap this bad boy back together. I'm gonna go ahead and start stacking shit. Let's get this. Sorry for my squeaky table. It's just a squeaky little cheap foldable table. But I'll put a couple little dots of KPL on the actual surface of the steel liner. Hopefully it'll aid in the breaking in process. So that's nicely seated down there. And I am kind of going a little overboard, a little heavy when it comes to this stuff, but I could just wipe it all off afterwards. It's really not that big of a deal. Let's do a couple little drops in here. Just 4 little drops. Stack that boy in there. A couple little drops on the surface. And we should be good to go. I guess the detent track, I could put, a couple little drops right there and slap this bad boy back together. Sorry, I'm not sick, but I am a little sniffly. I've been was actually doing a good bit of yard work today while waiting for this package. So, but it got pretty hot, and oh crap, the lanyard pin fell out. Let me go ahead and grab that real quick. Set this back over there. Okay, stop pinning everything. Everything else should be good. Let's kind of squish this guy back together. That sounds good. Sounds nice and tight. One cool thing about this Glide Strike is that because it is produced by Civivi, Senka, that company, they have the aftermarket tie clip, and if you option that clip through Amazon or directly from them, it makes the disassembly having all T8s. No, what the hell? The freaking washer fell out. I feel like such an idiot. Too busy just blabbing on. How did that which one was it? Oh, it's this one. Jesus. Okay. Still, disassembly and reassembly should be pretty easy, even with little mishaps like that. But yeah, it's nice that this is a full T8 knife now, which I definitely appreciate when manufacturers just have things come directly from the factory as all T8s. It's just a quality of life improvement. It costs manufacturers literally nothing to do a difference in size. And I think I might have scrunched that one down a little too much. Let's see if I can get this thing back down. Why isn't it? Come on. Sit down. There we go. I don't know why that was sticking up so much. This Glide Strike is a really freaking awesome just powerhouse slicer knife. It is full size plus. That's what I consider it to be, the size category. I really wish that they made a semi-premium, like medium-sized version of this, because the lines on this, it's a great looking knife. Performance-wise, I mean, it's all there. Go ahead, get that nice and centered. It looks nice and centered. One thing when it comes to washers, what I've learned in the past is that micro adjustments are something you're just gonna have to mess around with. So through your day, if you have a knife in your pocket that has almost got it all the way out there, yeah, it feels really tight. So nice and smooth, definitely. My lockup is still nice and solid, but I do gotta tighten this down a little bit more. Free spinning pivot here. I was going to talk about the micro adjustments. It might be a good idea to have a micro driver with you, or just something really compact that you can just carry in your pocket or on your keychain or something like that. I don't have it here with me, but in my car I keep a little NAFS leather strap, and on a little keychain I have attached the Civivi titanium bit driver. So it's a T6 T8 combo little thing. I kid you not, it's like this big. You can unscrew it in half, and that's really what you have there. So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to flick this out anytime soon, but I'm going to enjoy it as is. You're not gonna expect immediately like that MBK super hydraulic smooth action. It is smooth, but it's gonna be a little bit of time before I'm actually able to comfortably flick it. So I'm able to get it almost all the way out there. I got to give it a little bit of wrist there. I'm not the biggest fan of having to do that, but yeah. So it's gonna take a second, but that's really it right there. So it's at the tightness that it should be, side to side, zero movement, up and down, absolutely nothing. And you have now that really, really tight washer action. Some people like this, some people don't. The major benefit to getting an upgraded pivot system via washers is that they're like $5 or $6 from Skiff. American made, they'll get to you pretty fast. And if you have a certain knife model that you love and you work in kind of a dirty, dusty environment, this could be a pretty cool option for you. Now, because of the particular deployment method on this knife having the thumb hole, this is probably something that for the next week or so, while I use it in my typical rotation with other knives, I'm probably gonna have to just thumb wheel it out, and you just gotta be okay with that. So as it breaks in, it'll get smoother and smoother and smoother, and eventually in another couple weeks I'll come to you guys with an update to see if this is something that I genuinely enjoyed on this particular design, or maybe if bearings are really the way to go on this particular model. Sorry, there's a little fly zipping around here, but that's it. That's my I guess my take and my opinion on washers. I like them in the appropriate size and design. I think the washers will definitely be a little bit more beneficial, like I said, in a dirty, dusty environment, and a particular knife that you just love to carry and don't mind having to wheel it out. but definitely washers aren't something that you want to have in a particular design that is uncomfortable already coming from the factory to deploy. So something that has really aggressive thumb studs, I would say don't bother unless you're willing to tune the knife to, you know, lighten up the detent possibly. But like certain, you know, MBK knives, they are very tune sensitive. They are not tune friendly at all. Their lock bar it's just a little finicky, and this is of course the experience that I've had now owning in the past and experiencing two of their very you know, popular models. So I think it's safe to say, and I can say comfortably, that those knives are a little sensitive. But if you have a a budget knife that you love, I'd say something on the larger side would definitely benefit from washers. This guy in particular, I could definitely flick it out with a little bit of wrist. If you get it just right, you can definitely do it. Does not feel uncomfortable. I don't feel like my thumb is gonna get shredded up at all. Reverse flick, I can almost get it, but not quite yet. Kid you not, another couple days, I probably will be able to. A week or so, I'll take it apart, I'll clean it, you know, re-scrub them a little bit to take off any sort of gunk or scale that has built up over time, and then just go from there. And the break-in process is, you know, it's just, these kinds of things are going to get better and better and better. Now, when it comes to bearings, there's a different story. You know, you're going to have, you know, drop shreddy, free-flowing action like this guy right here. Of course, this is a large knife and has so much mass behind the blade, but this is something else that will be receiving thick washers. I'll be doing that off camera, but I will no longer have that action. And this is one that is kind of going to be a little bit experimental because the deployment method on here is a very shallow, not so crisp, a little fuller here, a little pill-shaped fuller on both sides, and you have a kind of, you know, so aggressively jimped front flipper there. Chances are, when I put thick washers in here, I will no longer be able to comfortably front flip that because the pivot will just be way too tight. I'll probably be able to thumb wheel it out, and I'm just going to have to determine whether or not that's something I enjoy. So on something like this guy right here, the subjugator, you have studs. It's a very well tuned knife for what it is, and I could of course adjust it a little bit later, but I'm planning to put thick washers in here, and it's going to make it a whole lot tighter. But because these studs are so comfortable and in a position that allows for maximum, I guess, you know, tension buildup before the release, and it's very comfortable all the way through the process, I think that this would be an excellent candidate for some thick washers here in the near future. So that is it. So I will be linking down what I can to mainly Skiff's website. I would definitely recommend getting a, you know, a good set of bits. Definitely some Loctite, something like this, the liquid or the little glue stick like this. Sorry for the shuffling around. I'm looking for my Skiff's cheat sheet card. Where is it? It's a little metal card. I probably should have had it out before I started this freaking video. I kid you not, I have like 4 drawers right here, and I've opened each like 3 times just trying to figure it out. These are some past projects that I worked on, but definitely get something like this. It really helps when it comes to sizing up your pivots, and of course the bearing thickness as well. So that is definitely something that you absolutely need. These are available on their website as far as I know during the recording of this video. They're very inexpensive. It's sub $20, and it is absolutely worth it. It's just a little piece of aluminum. They have colored ones, they have raw ones like this. And that's it. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support and all your patience, of course. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because I have plenty more videos and content coming you guys this way. And with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.